Welcome one, welcome all to the NACLQ's first round of the Swiss stage here. 2-0-0 teams getting ready to go at it. The 15th seeded ISU Redbirds on blue side, and on the red side, Reluminate, the 17th seed. I am 4Y4, I'll be your play-by-play today. And this handsome gentleman to my side is Slayer. Slayer, how are we doing today?
I'm really excited for it, not only because get a cast along your side, but I think the best part of the first day of OQs is these matchups, right? You can obviously have all the fun rosters. You got your Winthrops, your TFTs, Aporias, but they're the 3 seeds. They're at the top, right? This is the real nuts and bolts of the start of the Swiss stage here. Is a 15 versus 17 seeds team. 2 teams who are hoping to get to that 3-win mark. One of them, the committee has barely scraping by. The other one, barely missing out. And we're already starting off early.
Crucial barely scraping by, able to dash away here. And pop the ghost, though, so a summoner blown. Yeah, making luring Crucial into a bit of a false sense of security there. Thinking he can hang out by Tribe Rush. I like that little bit of a cheeky late invade there, right? Don't pull the trigger right at the 20-second mark. I like the way that ISU tackled that.
Also, always a fan of Bard players. I think Bard players are like top-tier players. No one ever flames a Bard player, right? So, and it's just such a fun support to watch play. We do have a lot of interesting choices here when it comes to champions. I know we're just getting thrown in here to this match. We've got flashless top and jungle for Reluminate here, with Crucial burning that ghost. You would have figured Flash already down here, but Shimmer really breaking out the tech here. Jax is really powerful with the new itemizations, the fact that you don't have to rely on those mythic items anymore with your build paths. But it's mostly the top lane where we're talking about those conversations, not a jungler. But Shimmer certainly has been held really highly in regard by a lot of players around the tier 3 scene, and maybe this Jax is exactly why.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're brave enough to pull out the tech there, I think you deserve at least a shout here. And yeah, with this new itemization, yeah, these bruisers have had a really good time. Jax able to flex top lane or jungle. But yeah, no, he's one that, like you said, Slayer, is one to watch. Day 1 in Crucial. Going back and forth here just a little bit. Let's talk about this this Seraphine bottom lane, though, because we've seen it pop up in Pro just a little bit here. And look, mages aren't, I would say, capital B back in the bottom lane, but Seraphine, absolutely one that has a lot of people licking their lips.
Yeah, certainly. And I know in the LCS, Meech had a really good game for 100 Thieves out the gate on the Seraphine, showing off his prowess on those mages. And you hit the nail on the head there. It also, with the double support item being a thing, in a lot of matchups, it's also allowing those mages to go back down there. We're not seeing that, though, from Disconnector here. Certainly just going the right way with the Seraphine going to be farming up alongside that Bard. But speaking of those, bottom lanes that look a little goofy, Senna TK. We all know that one well, but is another one of those where it's like, hey, the Senna's actually going to be the one going for that support item, likely that Blood Song coming through later for this setup.
Yeah, Blood Song extremely strong. We were talking about that just a little bit earlier. As a support enjoyer myself, it's been fun to see Senna back on the menu. She is just a ton of fun, extremely strong, like you were saying. Yeah, that double support item, bot lane, you've really only seen it with Lucian Nami for whatever reason. I'm not smart enough to know exactly why that pairing likes it more than others. But if you've got any insight, feel free to chime in. But yeah, we're not getting that, is the bottom line here. Day 1, a level down here. And very crucially, that Vital on the opposite spot from Crucial. Drew taking a nice Vex combo there into fulls. Thought Shimmer might have pulled the trigger there, but really the wave in a tough spot, not opting to gank it. Both junglers in the top river there, like ships in the night, able to TP back to base.
Yeah, we see both those junglers take the resets as well, just as the latest new addition to Season 14 spawns in. Those Void Grubs are coming alive here, and I know people around the community are very polar opinions on. I'm curious where you're at, 4x4, on this one, because some people are like, Void Grubs are busted. You should be prioing them topside as much as possible as a jungler. And other ones are saying, don't prio them over the Drakes. We're about to figure out where Cross and Shimmer lie in those respects.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen enough to be like, I'll put it this way. I haven't seen enough games where teams hit that magic number of 5, right? They pop in sets of 3, so 5 is that magic number where you get the actual Void Grubs, and they help out. But now, you still get the, based on the number of Void Grubs you get, you still get that extra true damage to structures, etc. But I don't think I've seen enough where teams have hit that breakpoint and then really abuse it, to say. But I think it's great for the game. I think as a spectator,
100%.
as a caster, as a player, it is just more things to yeah, more things to, just gives more dynamic to the early game, right? Everything's not just about the bottom lane. I do worry that I feel like the game might be trending in a way where you see a lot of lane swaps, and if that goes too far, I don't particularly enjoy that. But you see Cross there getting on the board with that first Void Grub. Fool's in some trouble here, having a Valkyrie backwards, but held onto his flash. Very nicely done there.
And like you were talking about, Cross will pick up all 3 of the Jerrys, the Kevins, whatever you want to call them. I've seen a lot of fun names being thrown around with that one. They did roam Disconnector and this Bard up towards that top side to help out securing them. And, you know, it is a good escapade getting Foles pretty low, forcing a reset, but you just kind of allowed this bottom lane for Reluminate to crash in a wave and get some extra XP prio over in the bot lane. Ignite on the head of Senna there.
Yeah, taking Exothy out of the fight in kind of a meaningful way there, but able to heal back up, right? That Q, obviously, for Senna, heals you and whoever is in the line of sight of that. Looking for a lane gank here, potentially a Shimmer. Has the Ghost, Ignite, or excuse me, just Heal Cut, out there on Crucial. Now pops the Grand Challenge, not able to get everything, though. Day 1 looks like they'd be able to avoid that. Still has Flash up, but crashing a big, juicy wave here. Let's see if Shimmer can get that stun down. It looks like we'll be able to. Waited for the Flash. Beautifully done. That is a textbook dive there by Shimmer and Crucial. First blood over to Reluminate.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a bit of greed there from Day 1. Very low. But it was such a juicy wave. I mean, you can see how many caster minions he's about to lose solely. No teleport on Day 1 either, so the greed is going to harm him. First blood going the way of Reluminate. So the lower-seeded team, and it's kind of going to put a bit of pressure on Cross here. He was cryoing the top side like we talked about, wants to get that going, but now he's going to have to deal with the fact that this Fiora is going to be online, and oh boy, I know the old meme of NA Fiora was a meme for a reason on the international stage. It's not here at this level. You let a Fiora get ahead, bad things will happen.
Yeah, and especially at this level, if someone is confident enough to lock in Fiora in a tournament like the OQs, where, yeah, look, you've got a couple games to kind of make things happen, right? It's a Swiss stage. You can lose a couple games and still potentially qualify, but this is a statement, right? And look, if you lose more, right, your path, your path is not guaranteed. If someone locks this in across from me and I'm Day 1 here, good lord. I mean, the damage coming in here is just, it's very impressive. I get nervous, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's like, look, they know something I don't here. A champion like Fiora, notoriously one of the tougher ones to pilot, excuse me, and can snowball so hard like you're alluding to, Slayer. Yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous. But both these champs have locked into the heal cut, right? You see, that's why I got confused there. I was like, who's running Ignite up there in the top links? I saw the heal cut symbol, but the answer is nobody.
And they're both running the opposite type of heal cut as well. You've got the more attack-oriented one on Crucial, and then Day 1 is rocking the more Thornmail-esque oriented one. But bot side, Death Brush is still a thing in Season 14.
Yeah, and much more so. Man, I think it's so funny because that bottom lane, it just seems so crazy on the red side here. Maybe I'll get this point out. Maybe I won't. That it's like, man, how do you just, on red side, how are you supposed to survive a dive? Hang on a second here, Grand Challenge. Umbral dash forward, able to get the World Ender off and ward off what would have been for sure lethal here by Crucial, but actually low on mana here, so Day 1 might have had a window back into that trade, but no dice. Oh, man, but Shimmer's here. This is going to get even uglier for Day 1. Already down 23 CS. And, yeah, it's just about going to get even uglier. There's the Counter-Strike in. Now one for Shimmer, as well as one for Crucial.
And it stings even more 4x4 is that Drew is roaming up to try and help, but all he's going to show up and find is a wave to potentially crash. So you're going to, on the backside, allow Foles to crash in a wave on this Corki, who also is looking to take a CS lead, and all that combined, and you see the ballooning effect here. A 2,000 gold lead now coming across as Drew!
Ooh, the Senna shield doesn't actually do all that much, but finally goes down to Crucial. Oh, this is just going from bad to worse, Slayer.
Oh, what a parry there, though, from Crucial. Parries the Vex ultimate, the Shadow Surge. Drew's just caught lacking, virtually. He's like, why am I not casting? Why is the fear not coming across? Now I have turret aggro, and Drew just falls. These are some stinging kills for an ISU team that we know has been playing together for a very long time, like with most collegiate squads, and now they're just completely on the back foot.
Yeah, this feels so rough. Crucial able to kind of reset his wave. Bard does sneaky damage, though. This might be a kill here. A little bit of an overstay. Almost got the dash off. Nice parry, but it will not be enough. Shutdown. Back over to the Aatrox. Probably about the last person you wanted it on. Shimmer too little too late here. Now try to contest for the Void Grubs. There goes the Encore there from Disconnector. Big CC allows Cross to go in, get the Crescent Guard in. Now Kafu, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb.
Oh, no.
Hope you like Catfish. One more for Disconnector.
Sacrificial lamb indeed. That will be how Kafu's going to want to play the rest of the game, but not right now, protecting his carries that way. The Void Grubs also on the back end is, oh my gosh, Bard.
Very nice Tempered Fate there, pretty much telegraphed, but the follow-up wasn't quite there. But look, right back into this game, our ISU, and crucially, I think that's 3 more Grubs there for Cross.
Yeah, they're up to 6 now, but Shimmer is going to make him pay.
Oh, baby, goes right in with the Ghost immediately. Crucial not here, but exit he is, and Shimmer able to grab Disconnector with the assist there. Grand Challenge pop. That was brave. Maybe just to ward off any potential re-engage there from Drew. But punches being thrown, counter punches being thrown right back. Reluminate grab themselves the first dragon of the game.
This is how you expect game 1s to go. Scrappy. A lot of big skirmishes just around when everyone can find. Everyone's trying to warm up, get their rust off. And I do see that Foles does have that package available. I assume that he believed he'd be using it for a Drake fight. But the Drake is just going to go the way of Shimmer for free here. And these two just will not stop slugging in the top lane.
They just feed top laners something different. And there's something in those Wheaties, man. Just a little bit of belligerence. Day 1. Oh, he's going to get Valkyrie packaged over. Foles grabs himself a kill. Now even more members of Reluminate getting on the board.
Yeah, and Corki is just such a power pick right now in the meta, especially with the Malignants helping out with those rockets later down the line. Interesting to see Foles already opting for that. That is going towards that Maw. I believe Mortius has about half of it completed. I love it. I mean, you're going against Vex in the mid lane, and you know the Disconnector is the rest of that AP damage, so you get value of it past later on into the game. But the only thing I see so far for Y4 is that Shimmer, with this Jack Spec, just locked in that Trinity Force, and that's not the only... doesn't have to stick to that as the mythical item anymore. No. He can get even more crafty with it as fed as he is.
What a wonderful world we live in. It's such a better reality, this side of mythic items. I didn't, like, hate them, but it's one of those things that after the fact, you're like, oh, I feel lighter, right? My shoulders, I feel like they can wriggle a little bit more. I don't feel as constrained. I didn't realize how much I missed it until it was gone.
It's like you unlocked an extra part of your brain that you didn't know had that much creativity.
Right.
It's like,
it's like I took a little, if you've ever seen Limitless, it's like I took the pill and I can use 100% of my brain. Yeah.
I love that movie. I've seen that movie way too many times. Yeah, it's like, you're telling me I can build Trinity Force and whatever else I want now?
Yeah.
No way.
What a world, man. Tempered Fate going out here, actually able to catch Kafu with the B drop as well. Disconnector able to get the CC down and barely catches Kafu there with the Encore. Shadow Surge not going to land onto XB, but it lands onto Kafu, and that is how the cookie crumbles for the support. Recast, very well done by Drew. He will drop for it, but grabs himself another kill.
Man, that's the price you have to pay to try and kill Senna in a Senna TK lane, but it works out like that. ISU will keep going back to that well. Drew, certainly, I'm sure, scared of Shadow Surging under turret after he did it topside. This time, working out a lot better for his squad and really starting to stabilize this game. Obviously, Shimmer is going to still be that threat. He's been power farming as well, somewhat, actually. I'm now realizing he is down 30+ CS to Cross, so partially why the gold lead isn't as bad. But you're now getting gold on the right people. You're getting some of those AP carries, the gold they need. Disconnector now surely going to be close to one of those big first items here. And looking to pack a punch.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Luden's already completed there for Drew. Cross, yeah, he's up about 30 CS, but those 2 kills have come in onto Shimmer. And in terms of, effective power, it's all about itemization, right? They are basically even here. Day 1 and Crucial, of course, just keep on having their wet noodle fight here. Crucial, still a little bit ahead of here. I still don't love the potential impact that this Aatrox could have, but we haven't seen it in a straight-up 5v5 yet. We've just kind of seen him just kind of get blasted by Crucial time and time again. And with, to be fair, a little bit of help from the friends of Reluminate. Drew in some trouble here. Gets a little personal space, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and that's another kill for Shimmer. Oh boy, this Jax is going to gear up. And, while it's been nice to see ISU clawing back, the conversation that we usually gonna have in drafts. I'm gonna have it now for it. The scaling on this Reluminate comp is scary, right? A Jax, a Fiora, and then a Senna who will just silently be stacking up. So every time you see Reluminate get more and more of these mid-game kills, these mid-game plays, it's just twofold better for them. As we do gonna see those mites just go crazy for cross. That's what they need. They have to make plays in the early game or they will falter later.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this 3,000 gold lead right now, oh, there goes a whole lot of CC, a lot of ultimates.
Okay.
Yeah, that felt personal right there, but the shutdown goes over to Drew. But like you were saying, Slayer, this is like an Exodia comp in terms of scale. Like, oh, that feels so bad. Fools gets caught in the Tempered Fate. Kafu showing up and gobbles him up. Very nice play by the Reluminate support.
That is a true through-and-through support player right there from Kafu. Because that Shadow Surge landed right onto Foles' head. The reset was there for Drew, but he gets saved, and that's going to be something that happens time and time again as this game goes on. Kafu farming up, already pretty tanky, and can just give so much of a big shield over to those pesky, range marksmen that are going to be hard for ISU to get on top of, especially Foles with that Corki.
Yeah, and like you said, the marksman, XP, going to just keep stacking up auto attack range here. Cross. Let's see how far they chase Crucial here. Crucial has to pop the ghost, but this is a long lane Slayer that got taken down initially here. Crucial able to actually avoid Cross. Didn't blow the flash. 2 levels up here. Crucial doesn't have the grand challenge up, but posturing pretty bravely, I might say. But I guess, yeah, not totally afraid of Disconnector just yet.
Yeah, he's totally just buying their time. He's trying to get in across his head here because his bot side is taking the second Drake. And now he's got his turret to protect him.
Now it's a 4v1. Crucial, like you said, just wasting his time. 2024. Here comes Fools. Doesn't have, or actually does have a package, excuse me. So probably ready to pull the trigger on that, but will not. But like you said, that second dragon of the game going over to Reluminate. And we've got ourselves, what is it, Mountain Rift, it looks like? Yeah.
Yep. That's a big-time one as well. I mean, you thought Kafu was going to be a tank problem. He's going to get worse. But I think Mountain Souls are best in games like this where, obviously everyone goes to think, oh, how can I boost a tank up with a Mountain Soul? But Mountain Souls are most valuable in games where there are very few tanks. And we really just have Kafu as a tank. The rest of them are bruisers across the board. So if you're Reluminate, you're smiling, ear to ear that you can get a Mountain Soul on this Jax, on this Fiora, who are just going to be constantly trying to engage as the package comes out for Foles.
And now gets hit with the Tempered Fate. Oh, we've seen this movie before. Nausicaa has been lethal with the Tempered Fates, but Kafu has been awesome with the Devours. Exithy will bear the full brunt of the Wrath of the Redbirds instead. Big ol' shield, bigger gray health into shield. Kafu just does not die. Fools snipes from downtown with the missile barrage, and now Crucial's gonna mop it all up. Slayer, they Shimmer. In the words of Smash Mouth, they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. That just feels so bad for ISU, man.
Oh, that's just a tilter, man. I don't know what to tell you. If that happened to me in solo queue, I am typing FF inbound or something like that because there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Foles survives, and the problem is that's just gonna get harder and harder. I know I'm harping on it. Is Crucial, my man? This is just unrelenting aggression. But Shimmer's here.
Shimmer's here. Good parry. Crescent guard. Gonna do a little bit of work, but feels like just buying enough time for Drew. Hang on a second here.
Shimmer, no.
Shimmer will go down. And this game has just evolved into madness here, Slayer. Missile barrage coming out there from Foles. Exithy able to flash away. Yeah, like you said, though, that Mountain Soul is going to feel really, really good on the side of Reluminate. Because, yeah, especially nowadays, I mean, with Season 14, we don't really have tanks in the top lane, right? I mean, so you don't really need that. And even tank supports, oh my goodness. He's just using this on cooldown. Nausicaa, stop it, my friend. Auto in, just setting him up. And Drew knocking him down. 7-3-2 for the Redbird mid laner. A lot of damage coming in there, a lot of magic damage that Kafu really hasn't itemized a ton against just yet. Another beat drop is going to find the TK, but it's a big old fish.
Yeah, great recognition of Nausicaa. I mean, he knew Devour was down. He recognizes the Tempered Fate is on a lower cooldown right now than that Devour, so it's a free pick. As Shimmer is looking to get one of his own. Disconnector
has to drop the Encore, and that should be enough to buy him time. Yep, Shimmer just going to leap strike onto the Catfish and walk his way on back. But now the side lane pressure really starting to ramp up here. You see Crucial doesn't have TP up, but Dragon is up in about a minute and change, right? So you got to be a little bit intentional with the timing of how you want to bounce these waves back and forth. Day one, recognizing he's going to have to be there to respond as well. Baron up in 20 minutes. I don't think either team has the damage to rip through that just yet, especially nowadays in Season 14. Baron, a little bit tougher to take. And yes, there is a lot more burst and a lot more damage in the early game, etc. But you can't just kind of, you know, with any sort of opening of 20 minutes, just rush Baron and expect it to go well.
Yeah, it rarely ever works out here. And the itemizations are not just here yet. And, well, 4-4, I guess you're eating your words because ISU, they want right on top of it, even with no real AD carry.
Yeah, unless, of course, you just decide to go for it here. Health bar is ticking down, you know, slowly but surely here. Drew taken out of the brush. W almost lands there from Exathy. And now another Tempered Fate. You can play for the Baron or you can play for the turn. Day one in. He's got to make an impact here. Shadow Surge not going to land. That is tough. But godlike goes Drew. Vex on a rampage here. Kafu goes down. The only tank is down. A shutdown for Disconnector. Bulls, it's access to the back line that they needed. It's access to the back line that they got. 3 kills, excuse me. And now this should be a lot easier to take. But Slayer, Reluminate bearing down the mid lane.
Yeah, this is a real smart decision. They know, one, they just need to get this wave pushed in. They also know that there's no AD carry, so that Baron take is going to take a very long time. Nobody on 2 items. They're going to pick up those turrets, but they might pay with their lives at least. Looks like they might be able to walk out, but 4-4, that was such an overestimate from Reluminate. You mentioned it. There's no teleport on this Fiora, who you've put so much real estate into. You cannot walk into this Baron pit 4v5 and expect things to work out in such a close game without her. And Crucial's not there. Everything, all bars are off. Baron in the hands of the Redbirds.
Now up about 1,500 gold here, but Mountain Soul stacking still in favor here of Reluminate. They're able to take down this third one here, setting up a fight for Soul Point in 5 minutes. You can bet your top, bottom, and middle dollars that this right here, where the camera is right now, will be where the 2 teams meet in about 5 minutes. Yeah, but they do have the Baron buff here, and now the Redbirds, yeah, they've got opportunity to make a big play here. Day one, again, I'm still not confident that he wins in a 1v1 against Crucial, so it'll be interesting to see how they manage the side lane pressure and how they take care of their lane assignments here. But he does have TP, so he could be there anywhere at a moment's notice to send everybody else. The 4-1 is what the Redbirds have decided to go with here, but they're in danger of getting collapsed on.
And, you know, however you feel about the Mites, if you get Baron and have that, 6-5 stack on the Void Grubs, this is the power. I've seen a couple of games already where you get those Void Grubs going, you get the Baron minions. It is very hard to hold your base open. And that's exactly what we're starting to see from the Redbirds. And with Disconnector getting, 2 items nearly now, those shields on the Seraphine are going to be an added bonus. This squad for the Redbirds, they can really just move as a unit. 4-1 is a really smart split here and look to create in those other lanes that are opposite day one.
Day one able to respond and get that bot lane tier 1. Like you said, Slayer, with those Void Mites, with the Baron buff as well. Now only 1 level down here to Crucial. Feel a little more emboldened because Cross is waiting in the wings, but Crucial trying to retreat to the safety of his turret. Gets the parry off. There goes the Dawning Shadow as well. Nice parry. Gets a shutdown. 2v1. How about that?
That was just masterful parry. Crucial shown time and time again that Fiora is good tech, and now Reluminate feel like they can chase.
Counter-Strike doesn't land. There goes the Encore. Drew is stunned up. He can't follow up. He landed the Shadow Surge, but he was locked up and CC'd, and he gets taken down. Shimmer now looking for the turn here, trying to make ISU pay for daring to set foot on their side of the map with a Baron buff. Gnostica taking on a magical journey. Exathy takes him right out of it. Kafu, slurp, gets a lick on day one and sends him back to the gray screen. Fulls picking up the kill on that one.
Man, if this isn't the prototypical game 1 of an OQ, I don't know what else is. Just scrap after scrap fight, little miscalculations. There was no reason for the Redbirds to be so greedy going for fights. You have Baron, you have the Mites. Just take every turret you possibly can. The one overstep, Crucial punishes it. Shows time and time again the micro on this Fiora is on point for the top laner when it comes to Reluminate. And now that Baron means little to nothing. The gold lead is gone for ISU.
Yeah, if we had the Baron power play statistic on the top left, it would not show a very flattering number for the team on the blue side. Let's put it that way. And now Slayer, I mean, look, again, we talked about the scaling for this this side of Reluminate and the range advantage as well. We've harped on both those things, but they're worth talking about. And the more Mountain Dragons they stack up, right? When you're piloting just Bruisers and Tahm Kench, yes, he is a tank, but he's a support, right? He's operating on a reduced budget, so he's going to be a lowercase t tank. And yeah, the range is going to get even tougher to deal with, and the backline access is going to get way harder. You're right, you're reliant on Shadow Surge, you're reliant on Encore and Beat Drop and Tempered Fate. And look, to ISU's credit, to the credit of Drew, Disconnector, and Nausicaa, they have been hitting those abilities pretty dang reliably. But the margins just get so thin for them.
You know, not to just nail home how bad of a fight loss that was, but with that, you could see a minute 30 until that Mountain Soul potentially comes up. Think about how much easier it would be for the Redbirds to set up for this Drake if they had knocked down that bot tier 2, that mid tier 2. It opens up so much easier avenues to get the wards down earlier, to make that jungle yours, and to make sure that big win con for Reluminate is not a possibility for at least the next 5 minutes of this game where you're playing your style. Now, Reluminate's the first into the river.
Cross going in. There goes. Oh, a little bit of anti-synergy there, but it does take Exit out of the fight for now. How can ISU capitalize on a big old Dawning Shadow? That takes Disconnector out of the fight. Here comes a TP. It's a 5v4. Crucial, or excuse me, Fools joining the fight. Here comes all the missile barrages. If he can Valkyrie in and get a little more damage down, the Corki can pop off. Kafu takes Crucial out of the fight. Gets one more auto down. Day one, able to get the kill there on a Crucial. It's a 5v3, but Kafu is leading the charge, and Fools is completely untouched until he gets taken down by Cross. Able to get the tip when the wind becomes lightning, dashes in, and there goes with the Shadow Surge. Drew played the fight patiently, but Exithy kites backward. It's a 2v2. It's an absolute bloodbath. Slayer. Who's going to come out on top? The range advantage is in favor of Disconnector, but Exithy, if he can just get close enough, but if he's on too much terrain here, he's separated from Kafu as well. Nausicaa lands one more empowered Q, and this could be curtains. The Dragon not taken. 3 deaths on either side. We inhale and we go again.
Yeah, 4-4. We're going to get quick because these resets are going to come out, and I fear that everybody's just going to sprint to the Drake pit. That thing spawns in 10 seconds, and you know Shimmer is tunnel vision on that thing. Is going to be the first one up. Cross is coming up later. Drew is the last one, does have teleport, but we're about to run it back turbo as quickly as we started.
Well said. Crucial popping that in power and teleport. Day one coming in as well, or excuse me, that's going to be Drew. Like you said, just burning everything to get here. The game is on a knife's edge right now. Shimmer taking a lot of damage. Can't counter-strike away those skill shots. Here comes the Shadow. Drew looking for another Shadow Surge. Pretty much every ultimate. Yeah, every single ultimate except the Devour and the Dawning Shadow are going to be up. And even those in a matter of seconds will be back. Exit doesn't have his flash. Neither does Fools. To be fair, kind of nobody has their flash now that I'm looking at it. But start up the Dragon. And again, ISU in a much needier position here, so happy to take that one. And yeah, Reluminate, no need to contest that one if they didn't feel they had a good fight. Nausicaa with the Tempered Fate almost lands it onto Fools. He would have been a dead Yordle.
And we're going to see exactly how these two teams want to play fight setups. It is all about the poke early for Reluminate. They want to spread out the Redbirds because when they are clubbed together and you have Disconnector constantly shielding everybody up, topping off those quality members, the Xin Zhao, this Aatrox is going to have to jump forward. It is nearly impossible for Reluminate to get the fight they want. It's all about setup. Most of the time it is later in these fights. And you saw right there, they got to the pit first. They set up prior, didn't take that much poke, and it's a free Dragon. Perrin is going to be a doozy to watch who can really set up first here around the objectives, because it looks like both teams have already set up a stake with wards early on.
Yeah, both teams definitely have a foot across the line, if you will. Yeah, you see, I mean, but nothing kind of too crazy, right? You see even the red wards are kind of on the red side a little more towards the top lane, and on the in the mid lane, that's where the wards on the blue side are coming from ISU. So there's still a line in the sand. It's not quite on the river, but now you see crossing the line of scrimmage here. ISU able to clear out a little bit more vision here. Just going back for a couple more resets here. Now on 3 items, the Storm Surge and the Void Staff has come in, along with actually a Hextech Alternator and Needlessly Large Rod. Wow, just keeps getting more stuff in his inventory here. Meanwhile, the top laners keep on fighting. That's what they do. That's so much damage. Crucial, stop it. Drew bails out his top laner with the Shadow Surge. Oh my goodness.
And now the pings are flying 4-4. The rest of Reluminate, they know 2 came bot, no teleport on either one of the solo lanes. They need to slam this Baron or pick a fight, and Shimmer wants to fight.
Shimmer wants to fight, and why wouldn't he? Two members are out of the fight and without teleport and without their ultimates. This is your window if you're Reluminate.
But Foles, he backed. I think he went to grab the package, which is a smart decision. He does have it. That is a big game changer for Corki. But I would have liked to see them maybe try and stick around, force a 4v3, potentially with that Baron up. Instead, with the package, they're going to try and get in, but the Tempered Fate again!
Tempered Fate lands, and he has to use that package defensively. That is huge. Now Fool's in a little bit of trouble here. Big encore, well aimed by Disconnector. In goes Shimmer, and takes Drew out of the fight immediately. Now with a head full of steam, Reluminate try to dot some I's and cross some T's. Disconnector so focused on, jumped on, deleted. Nausicaa running for the hills. Take your magical journey, my man. You are not getting away from this one. Shimmer trying to run him down. Decides he's got better things to do with his time. All eyes on the mid lane.
It's 30 minutes. The death timers are way too long, and the big chunk of the ISU Redbirds is down. What a stun from Crucial!
What a stun indeed. Day one, back to day 0. In the gray screen he goes, and now it's just Bard in a dream, and I can tell you how this movie is going to end. Bard players are S-tier humans. As a Bard enjoyer myself, I am biased, but Nausicaa does not have a snowball's chance in hell. GG's Reluminate. Unless Drew's got a miracle right here. Gets a 5-man fear. They just got to auto the Nexus here. It was a valiant effort, but Drew and Nausicaa not able to stave off defeat.
What a game to kick off the first day one. Exactly expect the 15-17 SIBA Reluminate show. Time and time again, one statement reigns true 4x4 in League of Legends. When you get to late game, one fight win will get you a dub.
Yeah, and it was absolutely huge. And you saw, again, it just felt like the margins were less thin for the comp of Reluminate, right? And how about Crucial? Just diving in when he smelled blood in that last fight, going right in, popping 2 vitals, and just taking Drew out of the fight immediately. I've never seen a Fiora do that much damage that quickly.
And certainly, Reluminate showing that they might be a team that can punch their ticket to that GSL stage when the committee thought they would fall just short. Great way to start out that campaign.